Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta. And this one is about my old Marshall JCM800 2203 from 1985, also known as The Little Brother. Let's listen a song first from my upcoming third solo album. All the songs have vocals, this one too, but you will hear an instrumental version. And I recorded all guitars with the Little Brother. When I feel myself, that's on the left, and then I just pan the lead guitar to the center, added a little bit of Eventide H949 plugin, and Lexicon's PCN70 hardware with the pan delays setting, and that was it. Okay, let's listen to the song, then I'll talk a little bit more about the amp, show some tones, and compare it to the 800 2203 from 84, also known as the Bad Boy, and the 2203X, the reissue. Alright, rock and roll. Write a little bit noodling, so play the same riffs than on the song, so you hear it soloed. First, let's go through the signal chain and the full gear list thing. This time, my old Tokai Les Paul Custom from early 2000s. This is 20 years old or about. This is the guitar that my ESP signatures are based off. I've sanded the neck myself. This used to have kind of like 50s style Les Paul neck, but I sanded the lacquer and also the neck a little bit thinner, so it's more like a, Gibson's like 60s Slim Shaper style neck. Similar neck than on the ESP signatures, except they have a maple neck. This is mahogany. EMG 81, 85 pickups, then into my pedal board. And I used Boss SD1. Surprise, surprise, that just works really well, especially with 800s. Quite a bit of level boost, tiny amount of drive, and tiny amount of, top end boost. Then I had a 4-inch Zool after that, just to get rid of the small hiss. And the wah I used was and is a Tim Dunlop's John Petrucci signature wah. And then it goes into KHG audio amp switcher, which, the amps are connected to, back from the amps to the KHG, and from the KHG speaker out, this time to my Marshall 1960 BV vintage cabinet with Marshall vintage speakers, the original V30s. And on the song, the left guitar and the lead guitar was mic'd with two SM57s in the Fredman style, the right guitar, the double single SM57 and a single SC Electronics VR1 ribbon mic, both, straight to the edge of the dust cap. And then all mics goes into Warm Audio's WA412 mic pre, then into my audio interface, which is a Steinberg AXR4T, and then into Logic. And that's it. The 85 is I've had this since late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember exactly because I had like 4 800s and 1 JMP 2203, around, late 90s, early 2000s, and because they were really cheap back then. Like, it was Finnish marks, and then in euros when the, millennium changed, like 300 euros. Can't remember when I bought this. Maybe late 90s or early 2000s, but these two I kept because I like them the most. They're kind of like the Scandinavian edition. I've done a video about that, link somewhere there. So they are a bit more aggressive and has a bit more gain than on your like regular 800s. Although I'm not using the gain, I have the same amount of gain because on this one, the gain is 10. On this one, it's 6.5, and it's about the same. That's how I like it. So it cleans up nicely, and then when I add SD1, I get the full blast. So if we take the SD1 off, now it's the little brother. I call it little brother because it's from 1985. The Bad Boy is from 84. I think December 84. This was manufactured, and this was, if I remember correct, like January or February 85. So probably the same batch. really good crunchy tone. And then when I add the SD, like that. The settings, I have no idea, because it can change, you know, from song to song, from day to day, from guitar to guitar. If I have, let's say, my N4, which is the Bill and Becky, the wild pickups, a lot of top end, and I just turn down the top end a little bit, or whatever I'm looking for. But someone is gonna ask anyway, so let's actually compare these three amps first without the SD, and then I'll check the settings on each of them, whatever, if that matters to something to someone, because you know it's all about the ear. The cabinet plays a big part of the microphone, so if you turn your settings like this, and if you would have the exact signal chain, the exact guitar, the exact cabinet of mine, it wouldn't still sound like me, because most of it's here. So yeah, that's always a good thing to remember. But anyway, 85 first without the SD, then I'll switch to Bad Boy, then into the reissue. So the Bad Boy has 6550s in the power amp section. These two has EL34s. Bad Boy used to have EL34s, but I changed, or not me, a qualified amp tech, changed them to 6550s years ago. So just gonna play some simple chord, kind of, so you hear the low end and the top end. Like you hear, they sound really close. This is the kind of the, at least to me, kind of warmest and fullest. Bad Boy is really aggressive, clean low end because of the 6550s, and the reissue is actually really good. It's like the little brother, but a bit closer to Bad Boy. It's a bit more aggressive. So you know, all great JCM800, just a little bit different flavor. Okay, let's switch the SD on, and I'll do the same. Let's start with the 85. Same with SD, obviously a bit less differences. The SD1 is pushing those amps, and the more kind of overdrive, the more you overdrive the preamp tubes, I guess the sound differences, you know, are not that audible. But the same, the little brother, kind of darkest, the fullest, kind of smoothest. Bad Boy, this that's the magic of this one. Just that barking mid and aggressiveness, and clean low end, really tight low end, and the reissue. You know, to me, it's kind of like the Bad Boy. These reissues are really good. it has a bit more low end, and because of the EL34s, it's a bit more like that, but it has the kind of similar bite. So really good amp. Okay, now let's go through the settings. So let's start from the reissue. That's presence 5, bass 9, mids 5, treble 6, master 4, preamp 10. The Bad Boys presence 4, bass 9, mids 4.5, treble 6, master 2, because it's quite like on and off. It doesn't really go quieter or louder. It's nothing wrong, but you know, sounds great. The preamp is 6.5. The little brother presence here above 4. Bass is, I think it's 8.5. But still has, you know, big low end. Mids 5, treble hair under 6. Master is 3, and the preamp gain is 6.5. Well, these are both, you know, made for the Scandinavian market. So the master is kind of like, it's just like on and off. It doesn't really, and I mean the Bad Boy, you know, if I've dialed, I have made the mistake that let's see what it has. It's just like there's no limits. You turn and turn and turn, and then it blows up. The power tube. It's a little bit same with these ones. So there's something like not right, but it works. So they are, when these are on 2 and this one on 3, it's the same than the normal 800, kind of like on 4, or this one even on 5. So the power tubes really start to, you can, because I've got so many back in the day when I played these were my old live rig. So almost every venue, the sound man was always like, Euge, turn that down. I was like, can't do it. And they were like, what do you mean you have a master volume? And then I'm like, well, you try. And oh, it's on, or it's off or on. And when it's on, it's really loud, and the power tube kind of like, I said, yeah, I tell you. So yeah, so that's basically it. Like I said, no effect loop, really straightforward. The low input on the 800, you can get a decent clean tones, but I mean, I don't really use the low input. I guess nobody. I mean, if you get an 800, you go the high input, put an overdrive in front, and rock and roll. You know, if I want nicer and smoother, clean sound, I would go for something else. Even they do clean pretty okay, but because I can get clean sounds from. Let me show you. Start the SD off, and that's backing up the preamp gain. A little bit chorus. If I put it in the low input, to me the low input is always a little. Obviously I could turn down the bass, add some bite and stuff, but I get and have got really good clean sounds just with the high input, and there where it starts to add that, where I said the preamp gain, and well, it's 6.5. I can't remember if that was there, but anyway, now it is. Conclusion. Little Brother is great. JCM800 203, my all-time favorite amp, no questions. I have 4 of them, they all are a bit different. The Little Brother is kind of the warmest and fullest. Bad Boy is the most aggressive. This one is really close. The Zakk Wildhead, it's almost like the Little Brother. It's kind of warm and full sounding, and it's the most cleanest of them because they're 6550 tubes and in general. So yeah, if you happen to find a kind of Scandinavian edition, you recognize there's a white sticker and there's a text in Swedish. Absolutely a strong recommendation, at least to check it out. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. It works for me, great, like basically any 800 203. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. Until next time, rock and roll. Bye.